Hey, what's good, YouTube? How's everyone doing these days? It's about that time where I film one of these random, uninspired, non-review type video things. I just talk about random shit for minutes at a time. It should be pretty good though. I'm gonna go on a quick rant type thing about something that many people wonder about. How important is it really to go to local shows in your town if you're a punk and you want bigger and better bands to roll through your town? First off, I just want to say that I personally live in Ottawa, which I know is not LA or anything, but it still holds one of the biggest local scenes in Canada as far as I'm aware of. I've been going to shows regularly since I was 14, 15 years old, and if I've learned one thing about our scene is that it only got to be so big because so many people have been so passionate about our scene, and we make sure to go to as many shows as possible whenever we can. With that being said, I don't advocate going to shows for the sole purpose of improving your scene. In fact, I only go to shows if I like the bands that are actually playing. In towns like Ottawa, you occasionally get those promoters who try to guilt you into going to every single show because they say they'll support your local scene. But why the fuck would I want to go to a shitty, overpriced show to support bad bands that I don't like? I'm not even a fan of going to shows to support your local scene. I go to shows if there's good bands involved. I want to support good bands. I want to know that when I go to a show and a band sees me in the crowd, that they know that I'm there because they're good enough to have me there. I think it's more rewarding for both yourself and for the bands playing that you only go to the shows if you're genuinely interested in the show and you really like the bands playing. I'm not trying to say that supporting your local scene isn't extremely important, because it is. All I'm saying is you can get the job done by supporting the bands that you feel deserve your support and trimming out the ones that don't. Now maybe it might be tougher to do in certain cities because your city might not have much of a scene at all. And in your case, it might just be best to tough it out and go to some of the subpar shows for the sake of increasing the interest in your city. A band coming through town needs to know that enough people will show up in your town, and if it's full of shitty bands with nobody showing any interest, then your favorite band has no incentive to show any interest either. Chances are, I know very little about the state of your town's punk scene, but in Ottawa, there's no really pressure to attend every single show, because if I'm not interested in one show, there's hundreds of people who will be. And that attracts attention from several great out-of-town bands. We've had bands like The Casualties, DOA, Madball, Agnostic Front, Strike Anywhere, Title Fight, Propagandhi, among many other bands numerous times, because enough of us truly care about consistently improving the state of our scene. For you, it might be a little more difficult, but it's as easy as starting out a band, buying a CD, going to shows, and playing community shows around town to create interest from the locals. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you're in a position where you live in a town that has very little knowledge of punk, and you live too far from any urbanized cities to see some of your favorite bands, then you have to attract attention yourself. My main point is, regardless of what any promoters try to shove down your throat, only going to good shows will support good bands, which makes the most logical sense in my opinion. Whatever you do, try to get involved in your town's scene. That just about wraps it up for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay up to date with my latest videos. Leave a comment in response to this video and let me know some of the great bands in your scene. Leave a link to a great band I can check out. I'll leave a few kick-ass bands in the description below for you to check out if you have any interest. And until next time, peace the fuck out.